Welcome back to the Tony Styles Show, the mecca of all things liberty. Our next guest is a legend. He'll be discussing legalization news and some other solutions. It's Tommy Chong. Tommy Chong is one of the halves of the legendary duo Cheech and Chong. He is also the host of the Chong and Chong podcast. Tommy Chong is with us. Tommy, how you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Yeah, any day above ground's a good day, right?
Yeah. And any day in California where the sun shines and the weed grows, and it's a nice place.
So we're in Chicago, Illinois. So right now, all it is just terrible and getting worse.
Well, the usual. That's the Chicago forecast for the year, huh?
Yeah, you're scheduled to be out here in Chicago on New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that sounds like a good thing. I actually just found out about that, and I'm going to buy tickets probably next week.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that'll be pretty neat to see, and you're welcome to come by the studio. But I want to talk to you a little bit about your long career, and as you said while we were talking earlier, we can talk about your long career in just a couple of minutes. Yeah. So, summing it all up, how would you say everything has been? I mean, your life has been blessed. You've had the opportunity to do a lot of great things, and you've survived cancer. And just nothing but great things that I've seen from you in my whole life experience of seeing you. You guys have been around longer than I've been alive.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
That makes you either you're really young, or me really old.
Maybe a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Well, I've been blessed. I'm Canadian, and so I grew up in a very, very tough environment. And I got used to it, and then after that, everything was easy.
It sounds like my life. I'm waiting for that easy part to happen for me. I'm still in that part where I'm feeling it out, and I'm waiting for the easy part to happen. Well,
yeah, sometimes it takes a while.
Yeah. I'm living through it, so you're telling me there's light at the end of the tunnel.
It'll work.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about your activism in the marijuana industry. And you believe in legalization, is that correct?
Yes, I do. I believe in total decriminalization.
That's better. I like that better. I like total decriminalization. I like that a lot.
I like that. You give me total decriminalization first, and then we'll talk about how we want to pay you back for it.
I like it. Yeah, I like that a lot. And I don't even think that we need to do the legalization route where we get the government's hands in things. I don't like the government to put their hands in things. I'm not a big fan of that.
They're multitasking when they shouldn't.
Yeah.
They should take one thing at a time. First of all, make it totally legal to have, possess, smoke, distribute, to cure diseases or just have fun without any penalty. And then we'll talk about how we can help you out.
Well, let's talk. I'm going to play devil's advocate with you on this. Sure. And everybody knows that I'm for the decriminalization of marijuana. I'm going to play devil's advocate. Sure. What do you say to people that say things like, well, what about kids?
Well, I think kids, they just have to find their own pot. You just can't be giving it to them. They have to learn responsibility. And if they want to get high, they should be able to find,
they should be able to find their own.
Learn how to grow
all right,
themselves,
I can get on board with that. Now,
and no, I know what they're saying about kids, but I think there was a show on CNN that sort of shut that argument down. It was about a little girl who had autism so bad that she had never hugged her mom. She's only slapped and lashed out at her mother, because her autism was so bad. And then they treated her with hash oil or marijuana, and within minutes, she was not only not lashing out at her mother, but she was hugging her mother for the first time. That marijuana took away the autism long enough for the little girl to be human, to be normal. And that's what I say when they say about what about the kids.
All right, I like that, and there's plenty of studies that go right along with what you're saying. Now, what about people that say it leads to other drugs? You're going to legalize something, or you're going to decriminalize it, but then what about going on to cocaine and then?
Oh, you mean the old gateway drug?
Yeah, the gateway drug argument.
Surprisingly enough, it's true. Marijuana does lead to hard drugs, but like a good guide, it also leads you off it.
That's true.
So I've seen, personally seen incidences where the marijuana helped cocaine users break their habit, and heroin users not just break their habit, but help them exist until they get their heroin again.
So it can go both ways.
And I've personally quit smoking cigarettes with the help of marijuana, because every time I felt like a cigarette, I'd light up a joint. And then there were times when, I felt like a cigarette, but I couldn't get high. And so after a while, I didn't feel like having the cigarette anymore. And it took a year, but the marijuana actually led me off the cigarette path.
How many years ago was this?
That was, I was in my 20s.
Okay.
So it was in 1958.
Okay, so when did you start smoking? Because back then people started smoking when they were about 8 years old.
Yeah, right? I started when I was in my teens, about 53, 54.
See, my dad, he was born in 43, I believe, and he tells me stories about how he was 10 years old and he stole dad's cigarettes and he'd smoked then.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was the big, that was the Cheech and Chong thing to do when you were 8 years old. Steal some cigarettes and go behind the barn and smoke them.
And I did the same thing. It was just a vicious circle. I did the same thing to my dad. I grew up on Winston Reds. Kept on smoking his cigarettes. But if he would have had marijuana around, maybe I would have been better off.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. And then the other good thing about pot, it's a double thing. It makes you eat, gives you the munchies. And in a lot of cases, that's good news, for people that have a bad appetite or people who are suffering from chemotherapy. It's good for them to help to eat. Now, on the negative side, that it makes you, fat people fatter.
Oh, of course.
So
Well, that can be dangerous. Food can be dangerous too. You have to watch what you're eating. I mean, you can get high and then go to McDonald's, and that can be worse than being a gateway drug to cocaine. The McDonald's can kill you first.
Yeah, what really threatens your life, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me, then, there's the last argument that's against it, me playing devil's advocate still here. What about the religious aspect of it? The people that are out there, I'm a Christian guy. I believe in Jesus Christ, but at the same time, I believe in legalization. I believe in decriminalization. I don't see any problem with marijuana. If people want to do it, it's up to them. It's free will. That's what God gave them. But there's plenty of Christians out there that say, hey, or any religion for that matter, that say anything that's a stimulant, bad.
Well, the truth is there wouldn't be a Christian religion without marijuana. The marijuana was the drug or the tree or the burning tree that opened the eyes of that freed the Jews. The Jews were imprisoned until Moses discovered the burning bush, which obviously was marijuana.
It's an interesting take on it.
Yeah, and also the anointing, when they anointed the chosen one, when John the Baptist anointed Jesus, he used hash oil and rubbed it on his forehead, and that's where, and it was a large amount of hash oil, and that helped Jesus, fulfill the scriptures, the prophecies, and become, the Christ, and that was all due in the baptism. When they baptized Jesus, it wasn't just washing away the sins; it was washing away the hash oil off the forehead, and so it was ritualistic in that manner. But it had a purpose. It wasn't just symbolic at all. It was real.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was the hash oil that helped all the mystics, not only Jesus, but
absolutely.
Isaac
I know all about this.
And the rest of them.
Yeah, you bet.
Everybody.
Yeah, we're talking to Tommy Chong on the Toy Style Show.
Joan of Arc ended up doing acid.
Acid gave birth to Mormonism, obviously.
Yeah. Acid and marijuana was the basis of most of the first religions, Because don't forget, opium came from the Holy Land. That's
true as well.
Home of all of it.
This is very true stuff, and people can actually look this up. This has foundation behind it. This isn't just talking because we like the idea of decriminalization and legalization of drugs. This is actual real stuff that people need to know, and not enough people are talking about this. Tommy, why is nobody talking about this? Why isn't anybody in the government out there talking and advocating for this?
Yeah, well, the reason is they don't know. It's a secret that's been held. See, what happened, in order to create the religions that we have today, they had to put a veil over the truth that Moses was. See, God revealed himself to Moses, and the truth was, and I'll tell you and your radio listeners, a truth that will reverberate. And what it is what Moses found out, the holy name for God was Yahweh.
Yeah.
In Hebrew, that means I am.
Yes, that's
and
correct.
In other words, God is everyone. And that's the secret that Moses found out. It wasn't just the prophets and the leaders like himself, but every living creature is of God and is God. And that was the secret that was revealed. And so the holy word is I am. And so that everybody listening, you know that you are God. Because when you think about it, when you pray, regardless of the religion, you're really speaking to yourself. You're really talking to yourself. Whether you talk out loud or but when you project that there is another entity apart from you, that's when the troubles come in, because now you're
looking to the outside for something that's coming from the inside.
That's right. You created a graven image, which we're told not to create. Even if it's a mental image, it's a graven image of God.
Which is true. That's in the commandments.
God, lastly, was God is not an entity. God is an experience.
God is omnipresent. He lives in everyone and everything.
That's right.
Everywhere.
That's right. He's
absolutely. We're talking to Tommy Chong on the Tony Styles Show. I have one final question for you.
Pretty
final
heavy
question.
Stuff, isn't it?
Oh, I have to keep things moving. This is a tough job. I could talk to you for an hour or so if you want to. We could have a real good time and just put out a special episode. But I have to keep things moving just because I have deadlines to hit on this.
I know, man.
Yeah, it really sucks. So I wanted to ask you. Go ahead.
What's the next path we're going to go down?
One thing. I want a solution from you in a phrase.
Sure.
If government did blank, they'd probably get along better.
If government did, well, government is people, and people are doing what they're doing. And so
But our American government, the people that are in place right now, the Senate and the Congress, the president, we have all these branches, everything, if they could just get together, get along, how would you bring them together? Because this is a solution that we've been trying to work on in the show for a long time. We're talking to Tommy Chong on the Tony Styles Show. I've been trying to come up with this for a long time, and I've yet to come up with a solution.
Here's how you solve the government
All right,
problem.
let's hear it.
You ban the media from their meetings. Totally. So instead of them playing up to the media and their voters, they have to address the problem at hand and then make it illegal to credit any one person with finding the solution to whatever problem they fixed.
So we should just get rid of the First Amendment.
No, just ban the media. The media has a right to report, but they should not be able to influence the outcome.
That's very true.
And so what happens?
But if that happens, then I don't have a job. What happens then, Tommy Chong? Then Tony Styles doesn't have a job.
Well, then you retire and just live off the land and become Francis of Assisi.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I'd like to do that. That's the end plan. If I can get a couple million in the bank account, I'll disappear. I'll be happy and I'll just.
You don't even need that much, man. All you need is a survival book.
Well, you're still working. You've done well, and you've worked hard,
well.
and you've earned what you have, and you keep on working. Is it because you want more money?
No, I got a lot of kids that I got to leave a lot of money for.
Tommy Chong, thanks for being with us. We really appreciate it, and we will talk to you again real soon. I really hope we can keep this conversation going between us.
Anytime, bro.
All right, have a good time.
Bye-bye.
That was Tommy Chong. We have to take a quick break. You're listening to the Tony Stiles Show. Do not go anywhere. I'm going to have a solution segment for you coming right up.